Welcome to PMP Exam Practice. An adaptive project life cycle in which the deliverable matures through a series of repeated cycles. The deliverable contains the necessary and sufficient capability to be considered complete at the end of each cycle. Each repeated cycle further enhances the capability of the deliverable. What project life cycle is this? A. Project life cycle. B. Iterative life cycle. C. Product life cycle. D. Business analysis life cycle. The correct answer is B. Iterative life cycle. An adaptive project life cycle in which the deliverable matures through a series of repeated cycles. The deliverable contains the necessary and sufficient capability to be considered complete at the end of each cycle. Each repeated cycle further enhances the capability of the deliverable. The sponsor of a project created a document that included the business need and the cost-benefit analysis. What would this document be termed as? A. The project statement of work. B. The business case. C. The project management plan. D. The contract. The correct answer is B. The business case usually provides information from a business standpoint so that any investment in the project can be justified. Typically, it would contain both the business need as well as the cost-benefit analysis. The business case is an input to the developed project charter process. In your project, you estimate the cost of individual activities or work packages, and then roll up the individual estimates for subsequent reporting and tracking purposes. This can be done using A. Top-down estimating. B. Analogous estimating. C. Parametric modeling. D. Bottom-up estimating. The correct answer is D. Bottom-up estimating is a method of estimating a component of work. The cost of individual work packages or activities is estimated to the greatest level of specified detail. The detailed cost is then summarized or rolled up to higher levels for subsequent reporting and tracking purposes. A project manager discovers that a project problem has occurred. The problem was never discussed during risk planning activities or added to the risk register, and it will now cost the project money. What is the best response? A. Don't take any action, just accept that there's a problem that the team did not plan for. B. Stop all project activity and approach senior management for advice. C. Add the risk to the risk register and gather information about its probability and impact. D. Use the management reserve to cover the costs of the problem. The correct answer is D. This is a tough situation for any project manager. You've got a problem that's happened, and you didn't plan for it. Now it's going to cost you money. What do? Well, you can't just accept it and move on. That's only something you do with risks that have no other option. You have options with a problem that happens during your project. And you can't just go to the boss, because you're the project manager and it's your job to figure out what to do. There's no use in doing risk planning, because you already know the probability, 100%, and impact, the cost of fixing the problem. So what do? That's where your reserve comes in. There are two kinds of reserves, a contingency reserve and a management reserve. The contingency reserve is what you use for unknown unknowns. You use it to pay for risks that you've planned for. But this situation isn't like that. That's why you tap into the management reserve. That's the money in the budget you set aside for unknown unknowns, problems that you didn't plan for but which came up anyway. A colleague of yours who is also a project manager is discussing the problems faced by him and his team during the last project completed. The problems he told you about are some of the project work was not done at the right time and was done in an improper sequence. As a seasoned project manager, what do you think was the likely issue with your colleague's project? A. Project scope documents not properly updated. B. Project communications breakdown. C. Poor teamwork is shown by the team. D. The work authorization system was not properly established in the project. The correct answer is D. The work authorization system is a subsystem of the overall project management system. It is a collection of formal documented procedures that defines how work will be authorized to ensure that work is done by the identified organization at the right time and in the right sequence. It includes the steps, documents, tracking systems, and defined approval levels to issue work authorizations. The other options could be other contributory factors, but the most likely reason is that the work authorization procedure was either not properly established or not properly followed. In your project, you conduct extensive testing to ensure that quality problems in the final product are minimized. The costs incurred on extensive testing are known as A. Costs of nonconformance. B. Appraisal costs. C. Failure costs. D. Prevention costs. The correct answer is B. Appraisal costs are costs incurred by an organization to assess the quality of the products and services in order to avoid failures. They include the cost of testing, the cost of destructive testing loss, the cost of inspections, etc. You have been given a task to install grass. The area of the lawn is 30 square meters, and it will take 5 more days for the supplier to deliver the required quantity of grass. At your best performance, you usually take 10 days to complete the task, and in the worst case, it might take 22 days. However, most of the time you take around 15 days to complete the task, assuming no unfavorable events happen. What is the standard deviation for this activity? A. 4. B. 2. C. 16. D. 15. The correct answer is B. Optimistic time equals 10 days, pessimistic time equals 22 days, and the most likely time equals 15 days. We know that standard deviation is equals to pessimistic time minus optimistic time divided by 6, which is 22 minus 10 divided by 6, which is equals to 2. You are new to project management, but you have been managing a small project successfully. Now, management has given you another project to manage, something you are excited about. However, the new project is growing exponentially every day. You have also learned that a project manager you work with managed a similar project last year. What should you do? A. Wait to see if the scope of the project continues to grow. B. Get the project assigned to the PM who managed the similar project. C. Obtain historical records and get guidance from the project manager. D. Speak to the other project manager to develop your project plans. The correct answer is C. The historical records will give you an understanding of the prior project. However, you should also obtain guidance from the project manager. You are a member of the delivery team for a large investment banking firm. The team has started to explore implementing Agile in their projects instead of their current predictive waterfall technique. They noticed that several cross-functional teams have been using Scrum as a framework for Agile. Your team nominated you as the Scrum Master. You have noticed that the team's work intake is not a steady stream of plannable work. It is quite irregular with a lot of last-minute changes and bug fixes. This makes it difficult for the team to plan anything beyond 2 days. Which life cycle will you choose as a best fit for your team here? A. Agile. B. Lean. C. Exploratory. D. Program. The correct answer is B. Lean life cycle. Your project has a lot of changing requirements and expedited items. This will make it difficult for the team to plan 1 to 2 weeks in advance, which is required by Agile. The lean life cycle, on the other hand, will enable the team to plan JIT and allow them to plan as they go. They may face challenges as they start working with lean. However, learning to work with Lean is far more realistic rather than changing stakeholder behavior or other elements to their external environment. You are having a project status review meeting with your sponsor at the final stages of an iteration-based Agile project. Your sponsor is not very happy with the way the project has been executed. His primary concern is with schedule, which initially you committed to be 40 weeks, but the whole project is now trending at 48 weeks. Still, there are about 3 to 4 weeks story points left. As an Agile practitioner, you should have tracked the team's performance over time. How should you have achieved this task? A. Tracking the team's velocity. B. Tracking the Gantt chart. C. Tracking the critical path activities. D. Developing a performance improvement model. The correct answer is A. Tracking the team's velocity. Velocity is perhaps the most common metric and is used to determine the team's performance over time. It is often used to compare actual performance to estimated performance. It is calculated as the number of story points completed per week or the number of iterations completed per month, coupled by the use of iteration burndown charts or feature charts.